Okay, so first off there, to do letter, again, L at the bottom of page 81, I'd start that one by just starting on the front plane, and so I'm going to start here. Now, one thing I did notice the other day when people were doing this, some people had their ortho turned off, and with your ortho turned off, it really doesn't do you any good to have this setting where you're in the isometric drawing. So with ortho turned on, then that's what locks you to those different planes, and lets you draw a drawing that's nice and on an isometric angle. So I'm going to start on this one on L by drawing that front little plane. I'm going to go over 3, up 1.5, back over 1.5 to there. Down here on this side, I'm going to go up 1/4 of an inch to there, and then connect those 2 points together. So that kind of gives you the angle if you're looking at letter H, or L, sorry, there in the book. That kind of looks like letter L. And then one of the little tips I was going to show you, I showed you a little bit of this the other day, but this is another instance where I'd really use this. On this drawing, these 3 lines would be represented over here, making up that other side. So those are the 3 visible lines. These bottom 2 would not be seen. So all I'd do there is I'd go copy, select those 3 lines, switch to my right side plane or my top plane, either one, and copy them straight back that direction. And I'm just going to make it back there 1.5. Actually, I'm going to make it 1.75. That way it's not a nice even number. It's going to be kind of an odd measurement there, which is going to help your drawing look a little bit nicer here in a second. So I'm going to go back there 1.75. From there, I'd put the other lines in that are going to be there from that corner to that corner, there to there, and there to there. And now what I have left is that little, I kind of call it, looks like the roof of a house. So kind of the end and the gable part of a house. You know what a gable is on a house that goes down here. To put that in, first you got to lay out to it. So for example, on this one, I'm going to go back to my right side plane. So I'm going to hit my F5 once there on my right side plane. I'm going to draw a line from this midpoint of that bottom line, and I'm going to draw it straight up. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me the point of that little roof that's sitting in there. So on this, I'm going to go up 0.75 inches. And then from there, I'm just going to connect it back to my beginning. Run to there, and 1 to there. So that has this end of it finished. It's out of proportion a little bit from the book, but I did that on purpose, made it a little bit lower, so you see a little bit more details in here. So from here, what you do is you just put a layout line coming back off that corner, back at that isometric angle. So I have to hit my F5, so it goes back at that angle. I'm just going to draw it back in there a way. Now what I'm really trying to find here is I'm trying to find where this plane that's made up here, where it intersects this line. To do that, I'm just going to again use the copy. I'm going to copy this angled line from that end point to the midpoint right there. Now where I've created this intersection, that's where that line ends. That's where this like 30-degree angle line ends. So I'm going to go with something like this. And first, I guess I would trim it off just to make it a little bit more clear for you guys. I'm going to trim that off to there. This line is going to be gone, so I can just totally get rid of it. And I'm going to go from that point to there, back down, whoops, not to there, back down to there. And that's got that angle in there, just like what it's shown there in the book. It doesn't look identical to the book, and the reason for that is they have this vertex a little bit higher. With that vertex being a little bit higher, it covers up this back angle back here. I made it a little bit lower on purpose just so you can see what that looks like. And that brings up a good little point here. Your drawings, unless you use the exact same measurements they do in the book, and you really can't because you don't know what those exact measurements are, your drawings are not going to look exactly like the ones do in the book, but they're going to look very similar. This one has a little bit different details here because we're using a little bit different measurements. Another part of that is sometimes ours are a little bit different angles than what they are in the book. The ones in the book are not always in a perfect isometric angle. So there you go. There's that. The other little tidbit I'd mention is, if you're struggling with some of these, just remember it always stays the same width. So this line, and this line are all exactly that 1.5 inches long. So as you're going back, don't change the width of your object. I had some people earlier today that this line here was switched to being longer. So then their object, as they're drawn up here, it went like that. It's like, well, you got it off because this line here isn't the same width as your object here and here. So you got to keep things the same width all the way through, and it'll definitely look normal. So what I want you to do here to finish this up is you'll have the 4 different drawings on your screen over here. Try to make them fit in. Looks like I may have made that one a little bit too long to fit in there very well. So on this one, I may actually shorten this one up a little bit. I would maybe move that line in at that angle maybe 1/4 inch and retrim that back off. So make those so they fit in, and you fit 4 drawings on this sheet. And you're going to choose again from the GHI, KMO, P, Q, or S. Alright, let me stop this video and I'll